Welcome to week 3 of our Watchmen review series. We're here, parked on a couch again, and we're going to talk about the latest episode.
So, episode 3, definitely the most intriguing, I think, of the first 3. I mean, we had our intro to what the series was going to be like. Last week was moving forward. This week was kind of sideways, standstill almost. But I liked it, seeing it from Laurie Blake's perspective, the new character introduced into this episode and kind of the focal point of this episode, but not new to people that know the comic or the movie. Laurie Blake, Silk Spectre, is now older and a FBI agent and is now kind of lead on a team of anti-vigilantism, which is kind of interesting as knowing that she was one at one point amongst the Watchmen. And now here we see her chatting with Dr. Manhattan, or at least hoping he's listening to her on the blue phone, calling up to Mars. And I thought this was just very intriguing, this episode in terms of perspective. And you could definitely tell it was a different director on this one. It was intriguing. I'll leave it at that. I don't know, Dave, what did you think?
Yeah, it was my least favorite of the 3 so far. I was blown away by the first 2 episodes. I watched each of them twice and enjoyed it just as much each time. I don't really know if I'm going to revisit this one. It didn't, like you said, it didn't really move things forward because all we did was revisit things that we already knew from someone else's perspective. And I understand what they're doing and what they're setting up, but in a show like this where there's threads of mystery everywhere, I feel like I didn't get anything.
You want it.
Yeah, you gotta feed the audience more clues and more details, and this basically just introduced another player into the mix, showed you what her deal is, and she's a little bit messed up. She's clearly got this vendetta against vigilantes, but she also has she's still literally horny for them. And it's all right, what's going on?
She's got something
here?
In a box.
She's got, and it's what's in the box? Oh,
it is a blue shiny. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. She's not just calling him on the phone. She really misses Dr. Manhattan, and she wants to relive those memories. TMI.
Yeah.
So, I feel like other episodes had standout, incredible moments. This one just was not quite as cinematic. This one felt more TV to me, just like a episode of something. It was fine. Fine, but I'm hoping that we get back into the real intrigue of the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, and I think one other thing, the first 2 episodes opened with a flashback to historical events.
That's right.
And this one doesn't have that. And what else did this episode not have? Will. Now, the first episode only had a little bit of him, and him kind of leaving the cliffhanger ending. Yeah. But the second one was, again, more about him, tying him to his past and to Sister Night and all of that. So that storyline kind of took a back seat in this one. And it really was Laurie Blake, relationship with Dr. Manhattan, and then the weird Vite stuff that's going on, which is what? Oh my gosh.
I did really like the Vite stuff in this episode. And also, we know who it was, but this is the first time he says his name. This is the first time he acknowledges. And you maybe don't know that that's who this is. They talk him up, and then he proudly says, right to the camera, "Sincerely, Adrian Vite." And you're it's him. And then he dresses
Great
up.
moment. Really good moment.
Really good. The letter, dresses up in his Ozymandias outfit.
Yes.
And it's okay, if you had any doubt, not that we did, but it makes it very clear that that's who this character is. We also learn that he's a prisoner of sorts. He's being held against his will, but he also made an arrangement to be in this situation.
Yeah.
So what's that about? And also, I think it's safe to say that we're jumping 1 year at a time. because each anniversary cake, you can see an extra candle being added.
Mm-hmm.
It would make perfect sense for, he announces in the first episode, I'm writing a play. A year later, the play is done. They're performing the play. They've been practicing for a year, building the sets. This episode, he's been working on those drawings and mechanical whatever it is that he's doing for a year. When we see him again, it will be 1 year past this.
Yeah.
And he'll have perfected what he's doing, maybe figured out this suit that he's going to something with, send somebody into space. Apparently
that's what it looked like. Yeah.
He needs to kill a buffalo.
But he wasn't secured enough, obviously. Like, the helmet wasn't enough. He needed thicker skin.
Yeah, buffalo skin is gonna be good for interstellar travel. Like, that's gonna work great.
Yeah, why not?
He continues to be one of the most fun parts of the show. Whenever they cut to his little moments, it's always great. Just fantastic. And with the years, by the time we get to the last episode of the series, the years will line up. I think that we are in the past now, and each year passing is leading us closer to the Tulsa timeline. And at some point, they're going to be synced, and then it will happen.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that he's trying to do.
The time-traveling squid
Yeah,
will
the
appear.
time-traveling squid with buffalo leather armor will come down from space. He's going to go up. Oh, he's building the armor to go fight the squids in space.
We may be talking about the years, maybe each episode, but how about the candles are just markers for the years, and we may jump a couple years maybe in an episode. Candle, maybe like in one episode we see 4 candles, and then the next time we see them in that same episode, 6 candles, 7 candles, 8 candles. Like, they could use that to time jump within one episode.
They could do that, yeah.
So there are no restrictions to how many years he may go through. I know right now it's lining up 1 candle per episode, but maybe we're going to get to a point where we have a bigger cake with more candles on it or something.
Yeah.
And we're just like, whoa, Vite is really into the years and really into doing the Spaceman thing, or Spaceman Buffalo time-traveling squid thing. Senator Keene is up to no good. He definitely has ties with Judd. He definitely has ties with knowing who people are in the police force, with like the little kind of nod he gave to Angela last episode. And I think he has an agenda of getting Blake to Tulsa for some reason. Not sure quite why yet, but really, I mean, the fact that the FBI was going through the slideshow, went over him specifically being a part of the White Knight and kind of creating the new enforcement that has gone on for 3 years. I think after 3 years, he and Judd, or just him himself, figured out, okay, I need to do something different to either escalate myself to being a presidential candidate, which is kind of brought up in this, or he's colluding something else that we don't know. Does it have something to do with the watch batteries that we saw? A lot of things that we're missing this episode, except with him. He was in it. He was one of the focal points, and we don't know right now. We really don't know what the cavalry's up to, other than they have a bunch of watch batteries and they made a threat on his life and other people's lives there. But is he the one behind all of it? Is he a part of the unraveling that maybe Angela gets back to when she does her detective work? I don't know, but there's something more with him. And this episode, if there was another thing that this episode did, it was escalate his value to the storyline.
Yeah.
So there's going to be something, whether it's him moving up, whether it's him wanting to completely eliminate the Nixon people, either the Redford people, something with the political corruption, collusion, whatever that's going on. I think he's at the forefront of it, and it'll be interesting to see where they go.
So would you say Senator Keene perhaps worked with Judd to orchestrate the White Knight?
Yeah.
So that they could have the police reaction that they did, where they all wear masks and stamp down crime, so to elevate him.
Yeah.
And that now he's worried that it's catching up with him, and that and he's trying to like get rid of that before he becomes president. Supposedly, like he's trying to.
Maybe.
this is the part where it's like, what is he doing? Because is he working with the racists? Is he not? Is he secretly working with only Judd? Only Judd and Keene worked together. The 7th Cavalry had no idea that Senator Keene helped plan the White Knight. So now 7th Cavalry hates Senator Keene, and Keene has to get rid of this problem that he created. Something's there.
Yeah.
Something's there.
Something's fishy, something's squiddy. There's a lot that Veidt is trying to do that corresponds with Dr. Manhattan. Reenacting Dr. Manhattan's accident that made him the way he is, and the cloning stuff.
Yeah. And he's clearly obsessed with him.
And he's clearly trying to send somebody in space to find him?
This is why I want more answers per episode. This is why you can't have an episode of just, like, okay, we get it. Blake is cool. She's a little, a little off, but she's, like, a tough character, so now we've got multiple tough characters butting up against each other. I get it. But give me some details, Like, give me just, like, a scene of Will talking to somebody. Maybe we don't even see who it is, but just something, like something else, because it's too. You don't do what all TV shows tend to do, where they just pad it out. I want this to be concise and condensed and just packed. And like the first 2 episodes were so good about that. So
different director. Different director. Literally a different direction.
Yeah, it's interesting how much of a difference that makes.
But overall, it's already been written, so they have a plan.
Is what it is. Yeah. Yep. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. It's been great to do this, and we're excited about finishing the series. Thanks for people who have commented so far. Thank you for anybody who has started watching the channel for the first time. Hope you stick around.
Yep.
And we'll see you again on a lot of critics.